stampers. Thanks for joining me. Did you ever want to buy a Burberry bag but didn't think you could afford it? Well, you can now. That is, if it's made of designer series paper. Isn't this just adorable? It's quite a large bag. You can fit quite a lot in the base, and it's deep as well. And inside, it explodes out, and it's of course full of chocolate money to take when you go shopping with your Burberry bag. So I'll show you the template that I've used for this. It's a 12 by 12 piece of paper. These are the scoring lines, 4 cutting lines on the outside edges. You only need to make 4 cuts for this bag. And I'm going to use the polka dot parade paper and get a lovely red and white spotted bag. You're going to score at 4 inches and 8 inches on your simply scored scoring mat using your scoring tool, and then rotate once, score again at 4 inches and 8 inches, and you'll end up with 9 equal squares. You can take the scoring plate away and just use your scoring tool and ruler for the rest. You're going to line up to the fold from each of the corners on a diagonal on the outside edges. You're going to leave those 3 sections in the center alone for now. Then you're going to go again on the opposite diagonal on each of the 4 corners to make a cross shape. And now you're going to place a mark in the center square, which is 6 inches in from the edge. So that's the 6-inch mark. And again, going up to the fold line to create 2 diagonal lines. And now turn your paper around to the top. And again, make a mark at the 6-inch mark and the scoring of the diagonals up to the first fold line again. Now, so that you can see that a little bit easier, I'm going to bring the white template back in. You can see there the folds that you've made. And now you can do some cutting. You're just going to cut away the 4 corners of your 12 by 12 piece. Just the outside corners. And I'll show you that using the template, just so that you can see where those lines are that you're cutting. And then it's going to look like this. So now all that's left to do is to fold. I'm going to fold on the template because it's much easier to see this on camera than if I use the red paper. So just scoring on all of the outside lines, and now you're going to fold those diagonal lines as well. And I'm using my finger rather than a scoring tool here or a bone folder. It's just much easier. And I'll use a bone folder on the final product when I know that I've got all those lines going in the right direction. So at this point, you're going to have what looks like a box. So you can fold it up and just check, yes, everything's going in the right direction. And you still need to score these diagonal lines. Now I'm going to score them in this direction first, just because it's easier to see those score lines. And then I'm going to push them in the opposite direction when I've finished. So you want those 4 diagonal lines. And now you're just going to fold them in the opposite way. You can see how they need to fold inwards on the handbag. So we're going to fold those in on themselves now, where we've just scored those last 4 lines. So just scoring in the opposite direction. And that's the basis of how the handbag works. So when you fold it up, this is how it looks. Now I'm going to fold the red piece, and I've done that off camera and using my bone folder just to finish it off. Now I'm bringing in the window collection framelits and some real red cardstock. And I'm going to cut out using the 2 largest framelits, and I'm going to emboss the smaller piece with the square lattice embossing folder and adhere that to the larger piece with some Tombow adhesive. Now I'm going to measure to the center of the top, and using my scoring tool, just score a line. Now when you're using your bone folder here, be very gentle. You don't want to crush out that embossing that you've just done. Some sticky strip, and this is going to be the front and the back of the bag. And I like to place it along this section, just one piece on the inside of the top. You can peel the backing off. And before you commit to sticking this, you want to make sure that it's really centered, front and back. So I just pop it on like this, and then I check both sides before I stick it down. And yes, I did need to move that just a little bit on the other side. So you need those adjustments, and then you can commit to sticking it down. And it's going to look like this. And it's coming together nicely. Now one thing I don't like about this framelit is it's a bit too pointy on the ends, so all you do is bring in your snips. I turned it upside down to do this, and just cut a very small curved piece off. It's just a freehand cut, and you want to make them the same on either side. And again, turning it upside down seems to work for me to do that. Now I'm bringing in the handle, and I'm going to put some brads to attach it to the back of the handbag. I want to mount the brads on some white cardstock, and I'm using the medium-sized circles from the Owl Builder Punch, and I'm using the mini silver brads. Poking a hole in those, inserting the brads. And now I'm going to line up the handle with the base of the embossed piece, punch a hole, and insert those brads, open up the back. And then you can make your handle at this point as long or as short as you want. I'm going to cut off a little over 1 1/4 inches. Opening up the brads. Now you want to cover that because it looks pretty untidy. I'm just using one of those offcuts, the piece that we cut off earlier. And I'm going to adhere some Tombow adhesive with it. Now on my Burberry bag, I actually attached the handles before I attached the top of the handbag, and that works better. But either way is fine. You can always cover up those brads like this. Now I'm using the 1/2 inch circle punch to punch out another piece of Whisper White, and I have a medium-sized Brights designer button. I'm going to pop that onto the white piece with glue dots. I'm going to put another glue dot in the center, and I'm going to put a large pearl in the middle of it. And that's going to be on the front of my handbag. Putting some more glue dots on, make sure it's on the center of the front flap. Now, I would normally put Velcro dots on this, but the craft store where I buy them didn't have any, so just for the purpose of the video, I've used a glue dot. But definitely the Velcro dots are a better way of adhering it. It means that you can open and close it many, many times. And that's how it works. And here's my Burberry bag again. So you've got a red and white polka dot or a Burberry bag. Choose whichever one you like. I hope you enjoyed that. Here's the back of the bag showing those brads. Here's the Burberry bag again. I've used some black brads on that one and mounted it on a small piece of the same designer series paper for that circular piece. Thanks for watching. I'll see you again next time.